Hello, it's James Johnson, aka Sulphur Blade, and it's election night. It's technically, for me, on the Pacific Coast, 7 minutes after midnight. So it's the 4th of November across the entirety of the United. Well, that's not true because Hawaii and Alaska may still technically not. Isn't Hawaii for sure? It's still the 3rd, unless Hawaii's on the other side of. No, it's not. Yeah. So for the mainland United States, it's over. Election night's done. And Trump gave a speech where he didn't per se claim victory, but he did express some upset feelings. And of course, mainstream media, particularly CNN, has completely taken it out of context, saying that Trump has declared victory when that's not really what he said. And they don't seem to understand that Pennsylvania has quit counting. Pennsylvania has stopped counting its votes at something like 68% of the votes counted, and Trump has a significant lead in Pennsylvania, mind you. So this is kind of where we are. Well, we're not completely like this. So where are the we're going. Well, before I start changing this map. If this map looks familiar to you, this is because this was my election prediction yesterday. Before the election happened, this is what I would predict. This is what I predicted would happen, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with my prediction, as I pretty much nailed it. If you will remember, yesterday I put Pennsylvania blue because I felt that there was going to be election shenanigans in Pennsylvania, and well, that's turned out to be true. The election shenanigans in Pennsylvania is that they have decided to stop counting the votes. Every other state is going to count the entirety of their vote and will have turned in by the end of the night. In every state except Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the only state that doesn't seem to have feels it requires to count the entirety of its vote. In fact, it doesn't have to. In fact, people can continue to vote according to the new Pennsylvania law for 3 or 4 more days. And when Trump says that's wrong, when Trump makes the comment that he's going to take that to the Supreme Court, that is because he is referring to Pennsylvania. The funny thing about this is that Pennsylvania is honestly irrelevant to this election. Because if you look at it, without Pennsylvania, Trump still has 274 electoral votes, which means he has been reelected. He has won. He is the next president of the United States. However, that's not technically true quite yet, because Michigan has not been fully counted. Wisconsin has not been fully counted. However, they both currently have strong commanding leads in the Trump department. And then another state that has not been fully counted is Nevada. Nevada is quite close. It could actually go to Trump for the first time in quite a while. And another state that is still technically being counted, but is unlikely to go to Trump, is Arizona, that I would like to say I correctly called was going to be the state that was going to flip, that was not going to go to Trump this year. And then I also want to point out, of my 3 Midwestern states, that I said 2 of the 3 would go to Trump, right? You remember me saying that? And I was like, well, the least likely one I think that Trump won't get is Minnesota. And that seems to be how it has turned out. So, there still is some period of votes that needs to still come in from Wisconsin and Michigan. However, at the time of doing this recording right now, let's go ahead and look at. I can actually pull the stuff up. How about Wisconsin election results 2020? We're at 93% reported, and Donald Trump is ahead by 4 points at 93%. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty safe to say Wisconsin's won. This is the type of 93% of election results in 4-point lead. Trump has won in Wisconsin. So what was the other one? Michigan. 73%. So that's a little less. However, there's an even larger spread here. There's an 8-point spread with 73% of the vote in Michigan. And again, 8-point spread. I think it's pretty safe to say that Michigan looks like it's going to go for Trump at this point. Nevada, however, is one that's probably going to come right down to the wire. 67% reporting, and we have got a 30,000 vote, so 3 points, a little less than 3 points, about 3 points gap. Again, we figured Biden would win this one. If Biden wins this or doesn't win it, it's kind of irrelevant, honestly. The only thing that Nevada does, and which is kind of significant, is if Trump were to win Nevada, right? If Trump were to get Nevada, I believe Trump does not need Wisconsin. So if Nevada were to somehow go to Trump, Trump could lose Wisconsin, but Trump's not losing Wisconsin. Wisconsin is pretty much called at this point. In fact, it's red enough I don't need to even put the light red on it at this point. So we'll correct things back to here. So where are we? We're really, Michigan at 70-some% is within. There's 8 points with 3/4 of the vote in. Could it swing back the other way? Yeah, it's still mathematically possible that Michigan could swing back the other way. Is it likely? No. Nevada, again, likely to go to Biden. If it didn't, well, it's irrelevant because Wisconsin's going to be one anyway. So really the whole Pennsylvania saying we're done voting, or we're done counting our vote, we're not going to continue to vote until tomorrow, that's irrelevant, right? Because if the rest of the country turns in their votes, we don't give a shit what Pennsylvania does, because Trump will have won 274. Pennsylvania can do as much election shenanigans as it wants. It doesn't fucking matter. Because it's irrelevant. Trump has already won the election. So the only way that Pennsylvania's stall tactics to stall the entire country into some strange Supreme Court decision is if Michigan were to jump aboard and be like, yeah, we're with Pennsylvania, we're going to stop counting too. So if Michigan was to play the game along with Pennsylvania and be like, okay, we've counted 3/4 of our votes, we're going to stop voting now, then we wouldn't know who would have won, because Trump obviously would only be at 258, and the election would be in limbo. But as far as I know, Michigan is not gonna stall their vote. They're gonna continue to vote through the night, and we will know that Donald Trump has won this election, regardless of what Pennsylvania does. So anyway, that's where we are. That's how election 2020 has gone down, and I must say I'm pretty impressed with my predictions. They've been pretty spot on. Anyway, I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. Hopefully you're enjoying my content. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace.